In the news, 50% of Nigerians are keen on relocating abroad, coming from the World Bank. Mali investigators rule out terrorism as reason for attack on president. Bali running out of oxygen as Indonesia's COVID struggles rise. And Lagos Agberos generate revenue of 123 billion naira annual report says. Details coming up shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo, and you're watching TOS News 360. Nigeria is facing an acute employment crisis that puts pressure on irregular migration for Nigerians who are seeking to leave the country for a better economic future abroad. The World Bank in a report this week says about 50% of Nigerians are willing to leave Nigeria in hopes for a better life, making it an increase of nearly 20% since 2014. The report urges that by expanding legal pathways for migration and implementing supporting measures to reap dividends from current migrants in the diaspora, Nigeria can further benefit from international migration. Members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria on Friday assured that they would continue their protest until their leader, Sheikh El-Zakzaky, and his wife Malama Zinat Ibrahim are released unconditionally. El-Zakzaky and his wife were charged with 8 counts bordering on culpable homicide, unlawful assembly, and disruption of public peace by the Kaduna state government. The two have remained in detention despite several court orders calling for their release. To election update, elections into the 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas of Lagos State took off on a slow start on Saturday, with low turnout of voters at polling centers across the state. The Lagos state government had announced restriction of movement across the state between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Saturday to enable a hitch-free conduct of elections. Meanwhile, some officials of the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, LASIEC, attributed their lateness to polling centers to non-availability or malfunctioning of card readers. The local government election in Ogun State commenced as early as 8 a.m. and on a good note. 12 political will do the battle for council chairmanship or councillorship in the 236 wards in the 20 local government areas of the Gateway State. Security operatives, including the soldiers, police, DSS, NSCDC, So Safe, Vigilante Group of Nigeria, and Ametokun Corps, were on ground to ensure adequate security during the exercise. On development across Africa, Malian investigators say terrorism was not the motivation in the attempted stabbing attack on the head of the country's ruling junta, French broadcaster RFI reported on Saturday. RFI reported that the suspect had been trained to handle weapons and that he was not acting alone. Colonel Assimi Goita was attacked during Eid al-Adha prayers at the Grand Mosque in Bamako on Tuesday. The attacker missed him and wounded Goita's guard instead. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television, and you're watching TOS News 360. More stories on Africa, plus global and business stories when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. Sierra Leone is set to be the 23rd African country to abolish death penalty as a capital punishment. The country's lawmakers on Friday voted unanimously to abolish the death penalty more than 2 decades after the West African country carried out its last execution. Capital punishment will be replaced with life imprisonment or a minimum 30-year jail term for crimes such as murder or mutiny. The bill also gives judges additional discretion when issuing sentences, which opponents of capital punishment say is particularly important in cases where the person convicted is a victim of sexual violence. On the global scene, the Indonesian island of Bali, Southeast Asia's biggest country, famous for its tourist beaches and temples, is running out of oxygen for its COVID-19 patients as infections surge. The government is debating whether or not to extend the tight coronavirus restrictions that the main island of Java and 15 other regions are under. Indonesia, the world's 4th most populous country, has had more than 3 million coronavirus infections and 80,598 deaths, according to official data that has been consistently above 1,000 since July 16. More than 120 people have been killed in landslides and floods triggered by heavy rains in the western Indian state of Maharashtra. Experts say is the heaviest in 4 decades caused by climate change. Downpours lasting several days have severely affected the lives of hundreds of thousands, sweeping away houses and leaving residents stranded, while major rivers are in danger of bursting their banks. The Indian Navy and disaster authorities have been sent to help rescue operations in coastal areas. And now to business. A recent research report by the International Center for Investigative Reporting says agberos in Lagos generate an estimated annual revenue of 123.078 billion naira amassed from daily road use taxes levied on bus drivers, tricycle riders and motorcycle operators in the state. Agbero is an informal word used to describe a person, usually a thug, who collects rate, fees, tolls and other forms of tax around motor parks. The report, however, says that much of the revenue was not accounted for in the state's annual financial settlement. The report further revealed that although some of the revenue was being remitted to the National Union of Road Transport Workers and to the rival union RTEAN, the bulk of the money being generated was mostly likely completing its journey in private pockets. The Nigeria equities market ended the week on a positive note as the all-share index gained 1.9% to close at 38,667.9 points, moderating the year-to-date performance to minus 3.98%. This is according to the weekly market report released by the Nigerian Exchange Group for the week ended 23 July 2021. The market capitalization of the equities market rose from 19.7 trillion naira recorded in the previous week to close at 20.1 trillion naira, indicating a gain of 376 trillion naira in just 3 days of trading. A total of 896.17 million shares worth 5.24 billion naira in 11,714 deals were traded this week by investors on the floor of the exchange. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African news network. For more updates, visit www.tostvnetwork.com. Follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Stay with us and enjoy more programs on the network. I am Merciful Ajinamo. Many thanks for watching.